Coming to paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Cancel Vacation. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a social justice social media mob looking to cancel her in this all-new E-Steam series adventure. Pre-order E-Steam Cancel Vacation on Amazon.com today. Some in the mainstream media have been outraged about the alleged sexualization of black women in Meek Mill's album art for his new album, Expensive Pain. Now, in Meek Mill's new album art, it features a Picasso-esque image of a Meek Mill surrounded by black women who are naked. Now, all of these people who are allegedly outraged in the mainstream media say that your Meek Mill is sexualizing the image of black women, but that's not really the reason why I believe these people are outraged. Now, the artist who designed the cover for Meek Mill's latest album is a black woman, and what really outrages all of those in the mainstream media and the social justice warriors is not the fact that the album art features naked abstract women. No, what they're outraged about is the fact that you have a black entertainer going out here and taking control over his own image and taking control over the black image. Because what really upsets those in the mainstream media is not the images of your nude black women. No, what upsets them is the fact that your Meek Mill had the audacity to participate in group economics. And that's the thing that really outrages all of those in the mainstream media. The fact that your Meek Mill, by hiring this black female artist, is participating in an economic model where your white supremacists in the mainstream media could not benefit. Because all throughout your hip-hop since the 90s with 2 Live Crew, you didn't really see people getting that outraged about images on those forms of media, because we've had so many images of scantily clad black women and nobody really got mad because those images were owned and controlled by your white supremacists in media, and that fit their narrative. But what upsets these people as related to Meek Mill and his image is the fact that here we have a heterosexual black man going out of his way to hire a black female artist to go out here and present these images, and these images, as they see it, are not sanctioned by them because their artists aren't getting paid for that cover. Now, I find it interesting that all of these people are outraged regarding Meek Mill's cover, but many of these same people weren't outraged at all regarding your Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, who practically were scissoring themselves on January when they had the Grammys and they were doing a performance of that WAP song, which is basically a song that talks about sexual genitalia. And many of these same people were not outraged when your Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion were out here and they had that WAP video playing on mainstream media. Nobody was outraged about that at all. But when your Meek Mill goes out here and hires a black woman, Nina Chanel Abney, to design the art, then everybody is angry and upset, and everybody is talking about how it sets a poor example for young girls, and they're talking about how it degrades the image of black women. But they sit there and they would have no problem with your Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. They don't see those images as obscene, and the reason why they don't see those images as obscene is because the Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are participating in behaviors that fit the narrative of white supremacy. Because your Cardi B and your Megan Thee Stallion, they actively are out here being the Jezebel and being the modern day mammies. And because they're Jezebels and mammies on screen and are breathing brand new life into old stereotypes, you don't see many on the left getting outraged regarding those women out here, nor do you see anybody talking about how this is so degrading to black women. It's again only when the heterosexual black man wants to express himself that many of these people have a problem, and it's only when a heterosexual black man wants to go out here and tell a story from his own perspective artistically that these people have an issue with the heterosexual black man. Because what the real problem is, as related to the Meek Mill cover, isn't the nudity or the way the women are presented. No, it's about this black man having the audacity to express himself and present his idea of women. And what further makes these people angry is the fact that he hired a black woman to go out here and present these images. That is the other thing that has them upset, because these images, this is not sanctioned by your mainstream media, and the kind of images that your mainstream media wants to see are only the images they have created, they have presented, and they have designed that fit the images of their Jezebel stereotype. I mean, people, when I look at the Expensive Pain album, it is an extremely abstract images, very Picasso-esque, and it's not something that I would see that as offensive, because I've seen covers for 2 Live Crew and many other gangster rap images and even many more images, and your Meek Mill's cover is, compared to what I've seen your Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B participating in, just extremely tame compared to those things, because this is an abstract image and it's again very Picasso-esque, and possibly I've seen worse images in museums. I've seen Egyptian hieroglyphs. I mean, this is an art image, and people are getting upset, as I see it, not about the image, but the fact that you have a black man and a black woman going out here and presenting their interpretation of art. And that's what they're upset about, is the fact that you have a black man presenting his interpretation of art, and they don't like the idea of a black man expressing himself in, one, an artistic way, and then 2, expressing sexuality in his own way. Because when it comes down to your mainstream media, they don't want you to see a black male expressing himself sexually. They only want to see the image of the black brute who lusts after white women, and this image that a black man has created where he's showing his attraction for black women. This is something your white supremacist does not want to see, because he wants you to see your black man lusting after white women. But here's the black man presenting an image from an artistic perspective as related to what he sees from hip-hop, and that is the thing that has a lot of people angry, because when he hires a black woman to produce this kind of art, it is showing that this is him, again, expressing himself artistically, and many on the left don't want you to see a black man going out here and expressing himself in a creative way. No, they only want to see loudmouth, profane black brutes talking about big butts. But for a black man to go out here and again present art, this is something they're upset about. And again, they had no problem with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and out here talking about WAP and broadcasting this even on public platforms like YouTube. But your Meek Mill, they have an issue with him. Again, it's not about the image, it is about this heterosexual black man taking power, and that is the thing that has everybody outraged. And again, it is no different than your Dave Chappelle when he went out here and told all of those jokes on his latest special. What upsets your leftists in the mainstream media regarding heterosexual black men is seeing that we are out here expressing ourselves creatively, seeing that we're out here presenting our perspective on things, and seeing that we are not going to go out here and do things that fit their narrative, because they again have no problem with women in thongs on a 2 Live Crew cover because they sanctioned that image. They do have a problem with a Meek Mill because he's not sanctioning an image from your mainstream media, and he's going out here and presenting images from his perspective, hiring and empowering a black woman to create this image. And that's the real issue they have with him, is that he is not following the rules of your white supremacy. He is not buck dancing and bojangling, and they don't like seeing a black man taking any kind of power, because the only kind of rappers they want to see are the slaves on their Hollywood plantation, guys who will talk about being gangster, guys who will talk about being a thug, but not guys who will go out here and hire a black female artist to present an image. And that's the thing that has them mad at him, because you have all of these images again on social media all over the place, and nobody's mad about them because those images come from the mainstream media and they fit the narratives that your white men want. And again, yes, there is some sexualization of this image, but the thing is, again, they are not mad about the sexualization of the image. They are mad because here's a black man taking control over his image. Here's a heterosexual black man expressing himself, and here's a heterosexual black man participating in a concept like group economics. And as he goes out here and presents his 5th album, he presents that he's focused on something a bit more constructive, because when I look at this image again, it's no different than anything I have seen in any form of mainstream media. Because if this image could be on Instagram and it didn't upset the Facebook censors, then what? And it's just very abstract. Then why are all these people upset, talking about that it was on a bus and their child could see it and that it's upsetting them? But the whole thing is, you're sitting there talking about things like, little girls will see that and want to follow it, but they see Cardi B, they see Megan Thee Stallion, they see Little Kim, and again, I don't like any of those kind of images, and I create images that run counter to that on the SJS Direct imprint. But I just find these people who are upset about Meek Mill to be hypocrites, because they're sitting there getting upset over an abstract image when you have real people like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion hypersexualizing the black female image. But these people want to say they have a right to express themselves, but a heterosexual black man like Meek Mill, when he expresses himself, then there's a problem. And again, it's all about the heterosexual black man presenting himself in an artistic fashion. It's all about this black man doing what every other artist does. And again, no different than the outrage these same people had with Dave Chappelle. They are upset about the idea of black men going out here and taking control over their own image. They are upset about the idea of a black man taking power over his own art, and a black man presenting his interpretation of things artistically. And that is the main issue these critics have. They are upset and outraged about black men taking power because they see Dave Chappelle, they see Meek Mill, and they see many others out here publishing their own books and making their own comics, and they're seeing the power over the black image slipping out of their hands. And that is the thing that upsets them the most, is seeing heterosexual black men taking control over their own image, because when we take control over our own image, they can't sell us their concepts of white supremacy. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Cash App by clicking the link in the description box, or you can donate to the PayPal link. And if you want to pick up some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, you can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Coming to paperback and e-readers this April, ISIS, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door must take on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess in paperback and e-readers this April.